All right, thank you once again. My name is Oyebanji Akins, and you can call me DJ Fresh, and we're live on CTD Among Blacks. And on this lovely day, I have a wonderful friend, I have a wonderful brother, I have somebody I won't call a colleague, but it's a senior colleague because I've been doing this before me. And today we have Sam, like I used to call him, and I will try to do a little bit of introduction about him before I allow him to say one or two things about himself. And I believe it's the first African Nigerian owned business network that really basically talk about sport. And I believe it's the number one sport analyst company owned by a Nigerian covering Major League United States of America. So it's a privilege I'm having you with me today. And I know you're a very busy man. I know.
Head the boss too.
No. I got to give you all the accolades because for people like me and you that are in the United States or being outside the country, people don't put too much emphasis on things like that. And for anything we want to build comes with where we start from. So I must give you all the credit. I must give you all the flowers. I must give you everything you're doing because people might not know you like that, but I know a lot of people know you in the major league. And I've been able to follow with one of the things you do. And you've met a lot of people. So it's a privilege I'm having you in our studio. It's a privilege I'm having Sam with us. So would you like to say one or two things to our audience?
Hello, everybody. I feel so privileged, and I'm happy to be on set today and connecting the dot among blacks. Right?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I've been following your podcast.
Thank you.
On TikTok, on social media, I've been following it. Sometimes I listen to it. One thing about me is this: I don't just limit myself to sports. I try to widen out. I look at what other people are doing. Try to pick their brain. Listen to their program, and also see their perception. In life, you don't have to be in your own bubbles, in your own echo chambers. You have to widen out, allow fresh ideas to trickle in. And that's how we grow as a human. So I really appreciate what you're doing. I must commend you.
Thank you very much for that.
I must commend you, like for real. You are really, doing what other people, I'm not saying they are scared, they are shy from doing. Trying to talk about a lot of controversial topics. Try to also look at things holistically from the four cardinal point, and that's very great. Olumide, keep it up.
Thank you very much. I don't know how to say that. Really touched me because I wasn't expecting you to say that. We had a common conversation before we go on here, and I really appreciate that. And like I said, I won't lie, I follow up with you a lot, and I've seen a lot of things. That's why I kind of added like that people might not really know you, but people that needs to know you in the line of job you're doing know you, because I've seen you interview big names that a lot of people will come across you and they won't put too much value until those people kind of like, I know Sam very well, like he has interviewed me on this, and that's what I'm saying. Going back to what we're talking about today, I just want to bring the main goal of our podcast is bringing awareness and bridging the gap among blacks. You're in Nigerian in the United States, Houston, precisely, Texas. And following up with what you're doing, I just want to ask you, what makes you do it? How do you get into how do you even feel like, okay, you're the first doing it? And how do you even think about, what makes you think about, I want to start covering the major league?
Okay, I have a background in journalism, and that's what I read in school.
Oh. And
when I graduated 2006, after my National Youth Service, you know how we do it.
Yeah.
So I had a 1-year stint with National Mirror newspapers. It's now defunct. Owned by Jimo Ibrahim, in Lagos.
Wow.
So when that newspaper went, under, I now switched to broadcasting, Beat FM, Lagos, Beat 99.9 FM. Mega Electrics. Yeah, I work with Beat FM as their assistant sports editor, and also Classic FM. So when they now branch into pidgin, broadcasting, I was a pioneer voice on Niger FM 102.7 Lagos. If you listen to that station, all their jingles, you will hear my voice in the jingles. I did most of that. I did some.
I keep saying wow because it's funny that we're having this because we never talked about, since I've known you more than like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
I've never been privileged to know that part of your life.
Yeah. So I was the pioneer sports presenter on Niger FM 102.7. The program is called Sports Matter.
Yeah, I remember.
So I coined that name.
Wow.
Then my radio name was Sam the Original Niger Boy. Yeah, that was my radio name then. So when I found myself here in the States in 2012, I still want to be relevant in the industry. So I started doing normal Facebook updates, doing my own thing, just because of my love for it. I didn't want to lose my relevance in that industry. So at a point, I did some programs for Nigerian-owned TV stations, ABN TV, Afrocentric, and
you
all that.
You work with all those names?
Yeah, I did some programs for them.
I'm blessed to have you on my channel today. It's a privilege we're having you. And I'm glad you're telling this story, though, because it's something people need to give you the credit. I'm glad I even asked you the question, because I never knew all these things. I've known you, but it's not like I don't value you that level, but, it's like knowing who to go to when you have this, when things like this happen in your life, and be able to, following up on TikTok, I've never really I've seen you, how passionate that you with this. And that's one of the reasons why I reach out, like, bro, you got to come down so that people could get to know you. So it's a privilege I'm having you for all these places you've worked, you've known. It's just like I'm being blessed to have you on this podcast.
Appreciate that. I'm privileged to be here too, Olu.
I want to ask you another question, because I know if I allow you, there's a lot of people that I feel like you've worked with now. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of people you've worked with. What has been your experience starting your business in America?
It's not been easy. It's been difficult, For real, it's been difficult because here in this part of the world, let's assume you didn't play pro sports in their top sports and all that. You have to start from the bottom and build your profile up. And that's what I did. When I was with Afro Vibes Radio as a freelancer, I had a program there called Sports File, So at a point I asked myself, I am the producer, I am the editor, I'm the reporter, I'm the everything. Why can't I start my own brand? And then build it up. So that's how, AFRIKA Sportz Network was born. It was born during the COVID. Then I was home, passing through some medical challenges. I did surgery then. So I was bored at home. I was like, man, I'm bored out of my mind. What am I going to do right now? Okay. And now, it's okay, I can start this to keep myself busy.
So your plan was to keep yourself busy?
To keep myself busy.
But now you're big.
To keep myself busy. So because of the network I already built over time, within the industry in the US in a short time. I have a mentor that worked at ESPN, Glenn Davis. I met him, I think in 2018, the finals of US Open Cup between the Houston Dynamo and Philadelphia Union. I was calling the game on Afro Vibes Radio. So he was watching me. So on halftime he came, he said, young man, what's your name? My name is Sam. He said, man, I was watching you, your passion, your commitment, what you're doing, man. I appreciate that. And you like one of a kind. This is my card. Holla at me. So I called him, from time to time I appear on his show on ESPN at 7.5 Houston. So with that connection, I've built over time. I now started covering the Houston Dynamo in the Major League Soccer and the Houston Dash. That's how I now, delve into the MLS. And I've now grown, widened out, made connections within the league, covering, and now, so okay, I don't have to limit myself only to the Houston Dynamo. This is Major League Soccer. And I started covering other teams. FC Cincinnati, FC Dallas, Austin Football Club. Like on the 20th of August, I will be in St. Louis, Missouri, to cover St. Louis FC against Austin. There are two players of African descent, Samuel Adeniro and Jabulo Bloom, South African. So I was invited to come and speak with them. So I'll be there in St. Louis on August 28th.
And I'm glad. That's why I want to stop you for my next question. I'm glad you just said that. How has it been? It's a twist one, but I will say this one. How has it been being a Nigerian? How do you think Nigerian has embraced what you're doing in America? Because everything you've been saying right now, I haven't heard you mentioning something that has to do with Africans. No disrespect to Africans or Nigerian, but let me coin the question like this. How has it been, and what would you like to tell Nigerians that have passion like you and those that don't have passion to be what you're doing? What are the things you like to tell them? What are the things you've been willing, like, I hope there's going to be a day I can tell people like they can listen to this.
Some of them don't like to buy into what we're doing. Some of them can be a little bit condescending. When you approach them for like a little sponsorship, they want to say, they're a little bit, they have this lackluster food dragon approach, to us when you approach them. But I've said, okay, you know what? I'm going to ignore you guys and self-sponsor. There will be a time you guys will come to me. then I'll not give you
price,
my terms and conditions. But right now, I'm coming to you. You guys are kind of thinking that we've not gotten the clout you guys needed.
Do you think it's how we're raised back home, or you think it's just who we are, or you think we're still? Because I always tell people this. I think a lot of Nigerians, because I can speak for Nigerians, I don't know about every other Africans. I think a lot of us are still struggling cultural shock of what we know from home, and the part of not getting out of that part would never make people to always embrace your passion. They won't see beyond who we are. I'm speaking about my perspective because I went through that too. I went through the fact of I've been privileged to meet a lot of people where they want to do some things with me, but because I wasn't, that part of my brain wasn't click to see beyond who I am. I wasn't quickly embracing it. Like you said, now that I'm getting to that place, some of those people doesn't have time for me anymore. They don't even want to sit down. They might still be watching me that I don't know. They want to see, like, maybe you truthfully want to do this, then I can support you. And that created this question on me that I always tell people. Anytime they come, I said, what can you say about, what do you believe there's cultural shock? And how do you think we can help Nigerians living in America to see beyond when people like you come up to them with an idea, not to quickly kill the idea, not to talk you out, or not to even quickly still be expecting you to fail. Some people are still waiting for your failure, not to embrace your success. They're waiting for a day something bad will happen. And they will be the one to say that.
I think I told you that.
Yeah, you did.
I have a friend, during my early stage in the US here, we were talking, I was like, dude, I still want to do radio. He was like, no, you can't do it. I said, why? He said, because you're Nigerian, your accent and stuff like that. I said, bro.
In Nigerian told you your accent.
Telling me that. I said, bro, let me tell you something. My producer or someone I met always say this to him, Sam, just speak clearly. That's all that matters. So that the person sitting beside you will hear what you're saying and understand what you're saying. I asked him, why do we applaud a Frenchman that will speak English with French accent and we clap for him? An Indian will speak English with his Indian accent and we are all happy and smiling, to the back of our ear. But when a Nigerian person speaks English with his native accent, being prominent, you guys will look down on the person. Why do you say so? But I'm going to prove you wrong. When I went on ESPN radio, I said, bro, tune in. So
you text him like that?
Yeah, 97.5. And lo and behold, my voice was bailing and echoing on the station.
I like that.
And I realized never you tell a man what he can or he cannot do.
That's true. Because
you don't know what drives a man.
That's true.
A man you cannot keep down is someone who is being driven by passion and commitment on what he does. And I think that has been my fuel, passion and commitment. When I started, I don't care if I'm not making money on it or from it. But the passion that you got to start small, trickle of water can split a rock.
Yep.
Just know that. And that has been my driving force. And we are now a full online editorial. You can go audio visual. We have a video, aspect of our production. We have an audio. We have a written. So we are really doing it. And I tell them there will be a time you guys will come to me and I'll give you my terms and condition. It's been challenging, but we're doing it. No one promised you that it's going to be easy.
No. I think even if it's easy, you got to be worried too.
You got to be worried.
Yeah, I always tell people when everything you're doing is too easy, you need to be worried.
Watch out.
Something is wrong. That's not right. Like you're really, really not going the right route. I will say this. Thank you very much for that thing you said. A drop of a water could
split a rock.
That's the big word. And for you watching, for you that have been following us, you're part of our subscribers, you're just joining us today. And we're having with us Sam, and is the brand owner of the first Nigerian company, AFRIKA Sportz Network, registered, covering major
Duly
league
registered
in United States of America. And we're not doing anything that you can do. If you're watching us, you're listening right now. One of the purposes where we have this podcast is about bringing awareness to things you could do. So if you're listening to us right now, maybe from the Spotify, or you're watching us from YouTube, I want to use this opportunity to tell you, like, if you're listening to Sam, like, he has been able to share some things with us. He started from Nigeria. He still continued with that dream. Like he said, it's not been easy. And for you that have been having friends that come up with you with an idea, I want to use people like this to tell you, please support them. Think about it. Even if you don't understand what they're doing, just your words sometimes can push people to keep going. Yeah. It doesn't have to be money. It doesn't have to be you put the money down. You might not have the money, but let your genuinely involvement shows. That's what they need sometimes. Because the more thing is, I always tell people, if I'm winning, you're winning. Don't think about because if I'm not winning, you're not going to win. No. The fact that I'm winning and you put any effort of yours into it is a story for you to tell anywhere you find yourself. Like, I know Sam very, very well. That alone will give you some credibility. And if you're really, really involved, there's no way people that are growing will not want to bring those people along. They will call you. For example, you're here. I met you in a place where nobody will even believe. But look at what you've done. I never even knew. Your involvement in sport has been going way, way, way far.
Even then we met, I was still doing it. Even that period.
You really?
I was, yeah.
Wow.
I was still doing it.
And that's why they said never look down on nobody for no reason. Because if I've ever looked down on you back then, I wouldn't have valued the fact that the voice sometimes I listened to in Nigeria was somebody I was talking to. And thank God for one thing God has given you, the humility. Like, you don't brag about yourself. You only, one thing I know you brag about is fact. When you argue with people when you know your facts, you're like, don't talk to me about this. I'm telling you from the fact. And I think that's the one thing that made me to follow you when I follow you on TikTok. And I started seeing what you're doing. And that's why they said, don't be a novice, because sometimes you might lose a lot of opportunity. When I started seeing you, I was thinking you start here in America, and I see the drive. You know, when I see your production, I know for a fact it's not easy. I can tell. I can see from how you move, and for the fact that you're talking to white people, coaches of different clubs, that's a lot of, I will look at how. Let me tell you the truth. You're part of the people that ever make me to start this, and that's the truth, on God. Real. Because I was kind of, I won't say I was ashamed, I won't say I wasn't, but sometimes
skeptical.
I don't go on social media much. People think I'm already on. I don't. But for some reason, your page will come, and I'll just go to part of the video, and I see how you stop people. Sometimes you try to catch up with a coach, because I really be watching a lot of things you don't know. Like I won't like, because who I am as at that time, I haven't really developed that confidence. So liking and following wasn't something, but I was really, really inspired about what you're doing. I really see how you catch up. You stop them. Hey, so, can I talk to you? They will talk to you. I see sometimes they don't even give you enough time to talk to you, but they will still talk to you. So when I see that, I look at this, I say, you know what? Mine is not even going to be outside. It's my house.
Yeah.
I'm getting a studio.
I'm
trying. So one person that I interview, which is funny about that, this is the truth. The first person I ever interviewed on my podcast, I started it, we didn't get a voice. Till date, I couldn't publish it. Because after I finished, there was no voice.
Yeah.
But the guy was one of the most, I told him, I said, he's one of the most strongest supporter I ever have. He got mad and he said, do your job better. But you know what? I'll bring a couple of my friends for you. Then he came back. And since then, everything has changed.
No, if you have not had that glitch of not having a voice, it happened to me. See, in this thing we're doing, if you've not had that experience, you've not started. And that will make you now be very conscious about your audio.
Yes.
You know, forget about the visual.
It's the audio.
The audio is very important.
Very, very.
If you have not experienced that, you did not start.
I'll give you another story. My voice was so bad that's how I got my studio manager. I drove all the way from San Antonio. He said, I've seen what you have. I know you could do more than this. I will drive down and fix it for you, because your sound, I don't know anything about production, and generally I don't know nothing about it. This is not my world. So when it came, I was like, I will help you with this. I will do this for you. And after that, everything changed. So when people see me, they give me the credit. I'm like, this credit you give. I'm fond of one word to people. I said, it's a collective effort for me.
Yeah.
I don't claim what I don't own. You might see me coming out fly like this. There's a lot of people behind me that make it like that. And what you're doing has influenced people like me. And I hope what we're doing right now can influence somebody else out there. Because I always tell some people, like, don't let it be only me. When I'm only the one doing it, it doesn't even have no fun. I don't want you to praise me alone. Let's be able to praise ourselves in your different perspective. You might not be a podcaster. You might be doing something else. Let me be able to talk about your business. And if you don't want to have a business, let me be able to be proud of your job. Because if you're doing fine in your way, you have more open-minded to have a good conversation.
The power of collaboration.
Yes.
We shouldn't overlook it. For example, if we go to press event right now and I pick up the microphone to ask a question, the whole room will go silent.
Wow.
Different voice texture. Not what they are used to. And my question come up hard hitting. The person have to think twice, have to pause
before they give an
answer.
Because
of the way we are trained. You don't have to be rude. Make your point across. So one day, one guy who worked with ABC came and said, Sam, man, I don't know how you do it, but your questions, it is hard hitting. I just smiled. I said, that's the way we are trained. Get your question. You don't have to ask 10 questions. One question alone is called open-ended question.
And you've been in the world for so long, so they wouldn't even know. It wasn't like you started in America.
No.
So you already have so many years of experience. So you even coming up with a question which is coming from that part of you. I'm about to digress a little bit from your personal world.
Okay.
And I want to move to we being a Nigerian.
All right.
My first question on that is, how has it been being a Nigerian in America for you?
I don't know if you know that song. I'm an alien. I'm a little alien. You know that song, right? You know that song, right?
Yeah.
Being a Nigerian in the US is a different world of its own. Because there are things you're fighting against. It's like you're swimming across and you're swimming against the tide of the ocean. Look at the image, that some bad eggs have built, over time that make them see Nigeria in a different light. When you go to somewhere, you open your mouth, say you're Nigerian, somebody will now shrug and become a little bit conscious of themselves and like, But now you have to rewrite that story. Your conduct have to rewrite that story for them to say, oh, wow, man, you are a different Nigeria I've met. Because you didn't portray their narrative already have. You prove them wrong. So that's what we're fighting every day. You got to keep proving them wrong. That what they are saying or reading is not actually who we are. You cannot use someone's bad experience to judge a whole 200 million people. No, that's wrong. But it's been challenging. But the grit in us
has been pushing.
Have been your driving force in wherever you find yourself. So it's not been easy, but we keep pushing. Like with Nigerians, we manage.
That's the main thing.
Every Niger, na manager.
I'm glad you say that. And I want to ask that same question outside of your workplace. How has it been being a Nigerian and Nigerian community in America? I will explain where I want you to go. How do you see Nigeria embracing the Western world, the people you have around, do you see us embracing it like you expect, or you think we're still struggling in that world of embracing this country?
Okay. I'm going to take it from two perspectives.
All right.
Some people who have embraced it, they go all out to, jettison our culture. We come from where we're very cultural. We have our culture.
Yeah.
And our culture has been, thing that shaped us, the way we think.
That makes us different.
But makes us who we are. But then there's some part of our cultures which I think that we have to modify. And some of us here, passing through that modification process, went overboard in modifying it. And which hasn't really been okay or good for us. Why some are still struggling to allow that culture to still hold them down. It's about finding a balance between being westernized and also being a Nigerian or being an African. Don't lose it. First of all, they will hear you talk. Like, Nigerian will tell you have accent. Are you for real?
I hear that a lot.
A Nigerian will tell you have an accent.
I heard that a lot though.
Like, And Nigerian will tell you, oh, I don't really date Nigerians.
Oh, I hear that a lot too.
Are you for real? You know.
I'm a victim of that, I'm not going to lie to you. But now that I've changed in how I see things, and I deviate from using that word. Because I won't lie to you. They said it's good to be real so that you could grow.
Yeah.
I was once, sometimes I would tell people, like, I don't date traditional Nigerian women. I prefer, like, you got to have a little bit of Western word. But I've stopped using that word because somebody told me something like, when you say that to people, you're killing who they are. You let what you want to become in yourself and let them allow to show you who they are. Because once you say that, you're really, really subjecting yourself to how they will move around you. And that might not be the truth.
Walking around on an eggshell.
Yes. So I was a victim of what you just said. I used to tell people, like, you know what, I don't date Nigerians. I don't do Nigerians. Like, I prefer, you got to be someone born down here. But over time, I realized that I was wrong about how I see it. Because then I told people, like, the only way you could grow is to keep embracing the truth and change your mentality as you grow. And if you said this yesterday, you could be a different person today. And then let people know, like, okay, I'm a different person today. So don't hold me by who I am, because that was me then. I'm growing of who I am today. So I like you saying that, because it kind of pinched me a little bit when you used the word, like, I don't date. Me, I was a victim of that too. I was like, nah, I don't do Nigerians, because I feel like Nigerians don't. And my own reason was because I found myself in the circle of Nigerian females that I've talked to, that I've come across, that they just want to be in the Nigerian world, even though we're here. So I conditioned my head not to go beyond that, which I was wrong. And I've been able to have female friends that are Nigerian and American, and they embrace the traditional way so well that I'm like,
wow,
I'm wrong all these things I've been saying. And they still keep the Western world so well. Like,
also, Nigerians, when they come to you, they want to shortchange you in what you do. That's what I don't like. You know, when you work for them, they expect that because you're Nigerian, you're going to give them, you know, a cheap price. No.
Hey, that one, if I talk that way, yeah.
No, but it's true.
What do you think we can do about that in your own perspective?
See, I believe that when friends and family contribute, business grows. You know, you're not coming to me because I'm going to give you the cheap price. You're coming to me because you know I'm going to give you quality of what you want.
And that you understand them too.
And you understand, and I understand you. I can be a little bit flexible.
Yeah.
For example, you know that, let's say now, I'm a photographer also.
Oh.
You know, and someone will book me, say, Sam, I'm booking you for 3 hours from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. So, okay, fine. I'll be there by 9:45, you know, on time. Then when I get there, 9:45, 10 a.m., when I should start my job, you're not ready.
Really?
I'm going to give you an example. And that's okay, no problem. I wait till 11, the African time. You're ready by 12 o'clock. When it's 1 o'clock, if I say the job is done, it's not my fault. It's your fault for not being ready on time. But in Nigeria, we expect you to be a little bit flexible. Hey, bros, nah, you know. I will understand that. Say, okay.
And that's because you're Nigerian.
I'm Nigerian. But a foreigner won't say, hey, I'm sticking to time. We have a contract. I'm going to stick to time. They say. So they will come to you with that mindset. But not forgetting that also, you're a businessman. Your time is valuable. You might have been booked somewhere else at 2 o'clock. So you got to go meet them up. So now, you see, you're not cutting into that time.
They will not, even if you leave now, you become a bad person to them because they feel like you're Nigerian.
You're Nigerian, you should understand.
Even though they price you down.
They price you down. You give them a
I'm glad
discount.
You're really talking about it, because I think this affects every business owner in abroad. Because I have a junior brother like that. He's into cameras and stuff like that. He always tell me the same thing. He's saying, like, Nigerian loves to price down, and when you stick to the time, if you leave, they see like you're a bad person.
Yes.
Forgetting that you're running a business, that you might have something somewhere to do. Because this person I'm talking to, you always have a couple of 2-3 jobs sometimes. And if he keeps them time, they will wait for his fault and they will not throw it back to his face. But you know I pay you. Even when I need you, you didn't do this. Now, see. And the boy was like, I don't understand. I'm glad you really bring that up, because
time management has been our problem.
I think we still struggle with that.
African time.
I think we really
Nigerian maintain 9 a.m., especially by 11 o'clock. Why should it be like that?
But what do you think we can do to that, though? How can we change that?
We have to be conscious of other people's time. It's respect. If I respect your time, I have to be able to be conscious of the fact that...
I think we respect foreigners than our own time.
Yes, they respect foreigners than our fellow Nigerians. A Nigerian will come to your business now, a foreigner business, they will stick to the rules. They won't break the rules. When they come to your own as a Nigerian,
it doesn't work.
It doesn't work like that.
They will change it.
I remember when I was doing Uber, I was Uber driver.
We both do Uber. There's nothing to be ashamed about it.
I was doing Uber. Driver people were doing Uber. I've carried a Nigerian. This lady I picked up from the airport. I think she came back from Nigeria, heavy load, pull up, put everything, drove her like 1 hour to her house, back up in her driveway, offload the whole thing. I said, okay, thank you for the ride. I got into my car, about to leave. Tipping is not our culture. Was I expecting her to tip? Maybe, yes. But if she didn't, will I be disappointed? No, I will not. Because I've done my job, I've gotten paid. She came, knock on my window. Are you in Nigeria? I say yes. She was like, you didn't even tell me thank you for... I said, man. I just smiled.
You're making me to turn my head.
I said, man, thank you for what? I said, I came, pick you up, back up, put your load in my car, came to your house, drop it off, offload it, didn't even give me a tip, and you're saying, I said, man, you know what? Just go. I don't want to talk to you. You're in my drove.
Thank you, Sam. It's been wonderful having you on our program. And for you listening, for you watching it, it's been wonderful. I hope you've been able to learn a lot. I hope you've been able to gain so much from today. And I hope you've been able to have a lot of knowledge to have. And like I always say by the end of our program, is what you're doing right now might not make a lot of sense, but keep doing it. Don't give up on yourself. And believe that what you're doing right now will definitely make a lot of sense in the future. So I remain fresh until the next episode. Don't unsubscribe, keep subscribing, share our channel with a lot of people that you have, and I definitely promise you we're going to keep bringing more awareness and bringing the gap. I remain fresh until the next time. Thank you very much.